Today we're sitting with our dear friend, Joe Campagna from Federal Savings Bank, Senior Vice President, and we are so happy to have you join us today. So thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much.
This is a really cool studio.
Thank you very much.
Glad to be a part of this. This has been ongoing for, maybe a year-ish?
Yeah, it's been a while in the
We've been
making.
hearing about it for a while.
Yeah.
We're glad it's finally here and we can put it to great use. And like we said, we're really excited to have you. And obviously, your expertise is in residential mortgages and all the different products that are out there. And we'd love to touch on some hot points in today's market because there's a lot of things going on that people see in the media that maybe raises some questions, and it's not always so clear to every single person out there that hears about the Fed cutting rates and what that has to do with mortgage rates. And I do field questions all the time. Yeah. Hey, they cut rates. They think that means mortgage rates got cut, and there's a lot of gray area out there that people aren't familiar with. So I'd love to have you just touch on some of that stuff to iron it out and have our viewers and listeners have a better understanding of what really is going on.
So that when I have this happen all the time, and I feel like any borrower, I always get the calls the day of when they announce it and it goes mainstream that, hey, the Fed cut the rate, where are rates at? And I try to explain to them, just educating them a little bit, that the Fed rate is not necessarily the 30-year mortgage, although the bond market does follow that. But the Fed rate has everything to do with your auto loan, the short-term loans. So credit cards, things like that, home equity lines, those are all dealing with the lower those rates are, the better pricing that we may have for those types of vehicles or credit cards. But when it comes time for the bond market is moving based upon the Fed already cutting that interest rate. So by the time that in today's environment, the rates actually were trickling all the way down that week leading into them speaking to 6% and possibly paying down points. You were hitting the upper fives. You were seeing 5.875 on the board. Once the Fed actually made the cut, there's another part of it where he starts talking. And so you're trying to get a feel for where he's at as a Fed chairman. And I'm talking about Powell.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of boring to any borrower out there. But for myself or even us in this industry, we want to have a telltale sign of like where things are heading. But he still is putting it where he's not. So he's worried more about inflation, right? So he's worried about inflation, but the jobs report that came out missed, along with them having to look at the other reports from the year past and revise those. And now there's a concentration on the jobs. And so there's a lot of people that I follow out there, and it has everything to do with jobs over inflation. That's the main concern. Right. The main concern is the jobs over inflation. And so when the economy is saying, well, we're doing so well, maybe so much on people still spending, but the jobs that are coming in and those reports that people are still struggling out there with that. And so now that's pushing down those interest rates. So and that's how I would explain it to a borrower that, hey, it's more of that we're moving in a good direction. The telltale sign is that we're going to be in the 6%, possible high fives by next year. But 6% is where people want to be. I mean, it's a long road that's transpired in the last 3 years where we went straight from 3.25 all the way up to 8.75. It was very high up there. Right. And then it started to come back down. And I think that this plays into what buyers are seeing on a monthly payment, but also on top of it, what people that are sitting on their homes with a lower interest rate, they want to start to obtain whether they're going to upgrade or downgrade, and looking at those payments on, hey, I can list my house now and look to move out and either upgrade or downgrade because the numbers are a little bit better than what they were seeing for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. So somebody that's like on the fence and thinking about buying but not sure what to do, what's your advice to them?
I will always look at it as, are you comfortable with the payment? If you're comfortable,
monthly.
Monthly. Right.
So that's an excellent point, and that's what I always say, and I'm so happy you just said that because it kind of backs up what I tell my clients all the time.
Right.
When I tell them to talk to a lender, I always say, look, you definitely have to speak to a professional. Let them break it down for you monthly because maybe you want to take that extra vacation. Maybe you know where you're comfortable monthly. So that's so important. So I'm glad you just backed that up. So thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I say the same thing to my buyers as well. It's like it really doesn't matter what rates are. If you love a house and it's going to be $4,000 a month and you are perfectly comfortable financially to part with that $4,000 a month and you could keep your life the way you have it now, then who cares what rates are? If rates are a little higher theoretically and you can afford that $4,000 nut every month, then you just refi in the future if it comes down and you're happy. So I try to push my buyers to always shop based on what the monthly cost is to purchase that home, whether it's one family, two family, because it makes a big difference as well. And I do see like it's like a stress reliever for them because I feel like the game is like too much to focus on, right?
That's all they know.
Right. They're going out there and they're like, oh, everyone's telling me houses are so expensive and this and that. And I just, let's calm down. Let's get on the phone with the mortgage loan officer, or mortgage broker. Let's find out where you are comfortable. He'll be able to tell you at $800,000 with your down payment, this is where you're going to spend. So now we know we can limit where we're looking to a good range. And it becomes so much more likely that you're going to close with a client like that because now they're like laser focused rather than this big broad spectrum of I want a house, but I don't know where I'm comfortable.
So I explain to every borrower that come to the mortgage expert, but also build your team, right? So the agent is the one that's looking for the home for them, but they're smart enough where the agent is saying, no, before we go out there, talk to Joe or talk to a loan officer. From that point, they're looking to make sure that, or I'm looking to make sure that their monthly payments are best suited for them. What they hear out there from their family and friends and coworkers is they become the mortgage expert or they become the realtor expert. And they are not in the industry. It's just a matter of what their personal experience were from the past. May not be the same as what they're going to go through because their credit, income, and assets are completely different. Right. Or it's a different situation when the friend or the family member had purchased prior to.
And everybody's situation is different. So you're looking at your different income, your different debt, and everything like that. So having somebody there that's giving you good advice is fabulous, but it's not cookie cutter. And I think that's super, it's essentially not good advice, right? You're looking out for people that you love and care for, but it's misleading and it becomes confusing and overwhelming. So best advice is to speak to a lender.
And I would love to touch on one other thing that's like coming right off what you're saying is like, I talk with people, even in my family or buyers and what they talk to their family about. Very few people had to deal with, I think history is going to show that it was a very difficult time for people when rates went from how low they were to how high they were so quickly. Right. But prices of homes being so high in relation to how much people make on a yearly basis. Yeah. Very few times and maybe never in history has it been such a spread between, the average income and how expensive it was to borrow and to purchase. It's a very challenging time for mortgage brokers, for real estate agents, and more importantly, our clients, the buyers who are out there looking to just buy their first house. Forget about people who want to upgrade and do stuff like that. Like they already have a house. It's not like the end of the world. You can wait it out. But for someone who's trying to start a family, and they're buying a first house.
Or have a family, and now you're thinking about sports and school and all that other,
I think we're going to look back, in the future, we're going to look back on this time that in 2021 and 22, where those rates went from 3.25 to almost 9% overnight, basically.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
And we're gonna see that it was one of the most challenging times in our history
100%.
First, for us to explain and try to make it work, and then for buyers themselves to just have a chance at buying a house that when they were just think about it, when they were thinking about buying this dream home, rates were 3%, they can afford a $900,000 house.
Correct.
And then 3 weeks later, pretty much, 3 weeks later, you have to buy a $400,000 house, but the market didn't change a bit.
Correct.
So it was pretty wild.
Yeah, but Joe, do you see a lot of people refinancing right now or trying to refinance because they feel like it's hit low?
Yeah, so most of the bulk of it has been cash outs.
Okay.
So again,
And what's a cash out? Explain that to someone
so
like
the
me.
Cash out refinance is somebody that currently may or may not have a mortgage,
Okay.
but they're looking to pull out equity.
And okay, to use it somewhere else.
Correct.
Maybe they want
So they
to
can invest
upgrade their
in,
yard.
Or the bulk of it has been that people's credit cards are at a certain point, and so they're paying that 19%, 25%, and a lot of people at that point they're like, yo, I can't like manage everything that's going on monthly. So there is the conversation to be had of blending the interest rate of, yes, your interest rate is 6.5 or whatever it was when we locked them in, but ultimately blending in the interest rates from their debt, their credit cards,
Right.
to make it easier and obviously lower that amount. So it's a vehicle to give them some breathing room, to allow them to circumvent and get themselves straight in what's going on. And I really feel like, yes, technically we weren't in a recession, but the housing market has been in a recession.
Right.
And that's key for us because of that reason is you weren't able to look at these monthly payments with the amount of income that someone was making. People had to get creative. Lenders got creative by doing the 2-1 buy down. And so a 2-1 buy down.
I've heard you saying that recently, yeah.
So you're basically looking to get a seller concession, right, coming from the seller, and that's rolling in basically some of the closing costs. However, what that entails, instead of the closing cost, it's the interest. For the next 2 years, let's just say you locked in at 6%, your first payment will go to 4% for that first year.
Oh, wow.
Then the second payment goes to 5%, and then third year you're going back out to 6%. The interest of that difference from 6% to 4% and 6% to 5% is given and held with the bank as a seller concession. So that part of it allowed borrowers to have some, again, I use that word breathing room of like, all right, 6%, it's a little rough, but it allowed them that 2-year window to be able to go into a home and then figure things out when these rates are continuously coming down, that they will be able to refinance and lock in at a 30-year fixed mortgage.
This may be a silly question, but for someone like me that doesn't understand through and through, now once they get to that 6%, if the rate is lower,
Right.
could they refinance?
Yeah. Correct.
And
That's
almost
the
like
whole idea.
chase the market.
Yeah,
chase
the whole idea is like most of the time that was happening. So let's just say the interest rates were 6.875, right? You locked them in at that point. So they're at 6.875, but they're going into 4.875, then 5.875. The year goes by, now they're into 5.875 in the second year. The rates have continuously come down, so now they're maybe 6.25. You know what? That's a lot better. Or it's around the 6% mark. You're refinancing them into that 30. The beauty is that there's still leftover escrow because you didn't go through that first year that can go towards closing costs.
Oh,
Right.
excellent.
Which is nice.
Yeah. So that was.
There's a lot of things that are out there that.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways for borrowers to get creative. And ultimately, I will tell you, and everybody on the comment section will always be like, well, no one can make these monthly payments. And I'm not here to spend anyone's mortgage.
No, 100%.
I agree. First-time home buyers, has not been an easy road. There has been help, whether it's a family member or down payment assistance has come in key where there's grants out there. So in the tri-state area, there's Sony May. Sony May allows you to have 3% of the purchase price and maxes out to $15,000. So at least it's a $15,000 that maybe somebody didn't have and can be helpful to going into maybe a condo, so to speak, right? Or New Jersey housing. New Jersey housing can go all the way up to, I believe, $22,500 for down payment assistance. So there's these programs for the first-time home buyer. We're working on with the bank right now to really be able to, in the boroughs, come in with up to $100,000 for first-time home buyer grants, or whatever comes first of 20% down. Okay. That will crush everyone because we legitimately will have something. That was the one thing that made my business and growing it with first-time home buyers was when they came to me, they're like, I don't have a lot of money. I got 4 savings, I got retirement income, I don't have mom for a gift, whatever it may be. And I'm like, hold on, if you fit into this particular box, we can possibly piece this together with 3% down, maybe a little bit of a seller concession, and we can make this happen. Granted, markets can dictate on guys like that, get pushed to the side. When you got people coming in with 20, 30, 40%.
And that's when the other elements come into
Correct.
play.
Right. But there's hope. If you say that there's a chance for me to purchase, I'm going to hold on to that.
And that's when having a strong team is super important.
Right. And to feed off of what you're saying with the strong team, if you have a buyer in that situation, it's up to the real estate agent to explain that we can't go look at the house that 60 other people want because it's perfect. Correct. We're going to have to really focus on houses that we have some flexibility, that maybe it's on the market a little bit, but you're going to get this house because you're getting this assistance, and over time you're going to make it exactly what you want. But today it might not be perfect, but you're getting a home, because what you're talking about is amazing, and I think our market now is becoming more of a fair market in Staten Island, where things like that can start to work. We're not getting 12 offers on a lot of these houses. Some still are, but some neighborhoods are, but some aren't. In New Jersey, we know that it's very difficult. It is not working. It's a very difficult thing to get past when you put an offer in with like a down payment assistance with it, because they know a lot of times it's gonna stretch out the closing process, and they have so many options.
So something that I have been telling my buyers lately, because the buyer pool is growing, that's what I'm noticing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Something that I'm telling my buyers right off the bat is this is still a busy market. It's a competitive market, and you're going to be out there with other buyers who want the same home as you. I can't guarantee that you are going to get the home that you want. I cannot guarantee it. I advise you to stay hopeful, positive, and always be the backup. Right. So somebody gave me that advice a long time ago when I was purchasing a home, and I was so discouraged. I didn't want to be the backup. I was like, you don't want my money? You're not getting my money. But they called me a week later. I had found something, but that was my situation. Always be the backup. Don't get discouraged. If you love the home, things happen all the time. Deals fall through. People change their mind. Circumstances change. So always say, okay, walk away graciously. Right now I didn't get it. Thank you for hearing my offer. Please keep me as a backup. And you'd be so surprised how many times that seller will come back because something happened and now you got the home.
Yeah.
So it's just
We did a video, and I referenced the old lottery in Yolanda Vega, and saying, you got to be in it to win it.
100%.
And so when they get discouraged, so many do, and they get frustrated, and I'm like, man, brother, like if that could, the very next home that you're about to walk away from and just put it on the shelf, that could be the one that you get. And so you kind of need to go through it. It's an emotional thing. For us, I think we're in this sort of chaos that's going on around us.
So it's like, okay, keep it moving.
Right. And then we're a director in a sense of just, coaching our clients through the process and getting them to where they finally get an accepted offer. And then the beauty is once they get the accepted offer and get into contract, I'm like, okay, now you kind of technically are starting right now,
Now the fun begins.
but ultimately, in my area, but for you guys, I mean, it started a while back, but I just think that in this market, it has taught me so much to be grateful for. But what it did do is take me from a dinosaur type of age into really trying to hone in and be relevant on the social media platforms, making sure that I'm educating people to such a degree, because I feel like what's out there and what's being told, I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's incorrect. That's not the right information. It may have been good for that particular situation, but not here.
Right. It doesn't apply to all.
Correct. And so I just feel like if the one thing that this market did, which it's a cleansing process, so to speak, right? I believe, I just watched something last week. It was 400,000 loan officers and change. So, right? In 2021, they're projecting it to be around 65,000 left in the loan officer pool. Yeah. But the beauty is that you were doing trillions of dollars of loans, and you will be doing trillions of dollars in 2026. So for people that have been through this in our industry, just talking about our industry, get ready for the roaring 2020s. That's what's going to happen in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And so it's every day getting up and making sure that you create yourself and give a value to the clients. What separates you? Well, what separates me is when you have those multiple bids that I'm reaching out to the sell side. Yo, I want you to know I am a lender. I'm a bank. I have full control, but you have communication with me. You're not just getting lost in the sauce from a branch level pre-approval and then you don't hear from them. I think they want to hear that. They want to know about that.
That personal touch.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody wants to make sure that they're keeping their sides in communication, but also doing their job as well. And the communication, once it gets to my side of things, is happening from me. So those are the little things that I will always make sure that I'm notifying the borrower. What makes me different? Here we go. It's not just all about rate. I'm as aggressive as the next man. I promise you that. But what comes with me is I'm not that normal loan officer, right? We're up at night thinking about the next day.
Right.
What's going on with the particular deals? It's not like, well, it's 9 to 5, I'm done, call my business line. My business line is the
Right.
cell phone.
I'll catch it tomorrow at 9.
Right.
There's not going to be any of those on the first week of September. I called to find out the status of a loan, and Sean is answering the phone. And then on the second week I call, Michelle is now dealing with the file.
That's right.
And when I do this with other banks, this is what happens,
Yeah.
right? We got a delay. Why is it a delay? Well, I don't know. Sean's now in control of this file, but Sean didn't get updated from the lady before him that was controlling the file.
And it gets messy.
And it's like, what's going on here? And when
Yeah.
you deal with someone like Joe, that's not what's going to happen. Joe's going to be dealing with his file, and when you need to ask him a question, you call him,
but
and he has the answer for you.
The school project as a kid where you have to take care of the egg and you can't drop the egg and you can't crack the egg. In this case, the clients are like our eggs.
Yeah, we did that.
Well, it's so true.
I'm honestly trying to remember.
Is this not-
This was in the
Stop.
80s of when I was in.
You
that
never took
type
care of the egg? In this
I had a whole
case,
chicken.
our buyers are the egg.
Did you?
Yeah.
He sat on
well,
the egg.
In the third grade, we incubated eggs, and all my
Not
eggs
where
died.
I'm going with this.
But my sisters, they survived, and we had to take the chicken, the duck, for the whole summer.
I don't remember.
This is
any
not
of
where I
this.
was going with this.
Yeah,
but
well, I don't know
back
where
in
you
the
were
day
going.
when we were in school, a project was, and the kids could use this now, but you were given an egg, and you had to nurture the
you
egg,
were.
and you had
No one
to
else.
take care of the egg. No, you definitely did it.
I didn't do this.
Okay, we'll reconvene. But you hold the egg, and you take care of the egg, and you nurture the egg from start to finish, and that was your project. And essentially, that's what we're doing.
I gotcha.
All right,
Okay.
get lost.
At least you're good at taking care of eggs now. Yeah. Because what else did that teach you?
I would say for anybody, especially in this environment that's looking to purchase, I explain to them there's a team environment that it's the loan officer, agent, and the attorney. We're still dealing with attorneys for the most part. And they're just as important with us. And I think that when everybody kind of knows who's on each side of things, that's how these deals go forward. Because as good as I may be, I'm not perfect. Then things can come off the rails, whether it's my fault or not. But it's my job to, one, rip Band-Aids off, communicate with everybody, and get that thing back on the rails so that we're closing.
Right.
So, it's very important.
Let's touch on something you said a few minutes ago. You were talking about being more of a new age loan officer.
Yeah.
Right? So this is super important. I have a passion for it too, because I see what you're saying about the roaring 20s coming up. Yeah. Everything you do every day is leading you to being in the forefront of the mind of everyone who's going to be buying and refining. So your TikTok success recently has been pretty awesome, and it's a vital part of all of our businesses. But let's just touch a little bit on that. Like, who really convinced you to start doing it?
I enjoy your TikToks. I
everyone
think they
does,
are
right?
informative and super funny, and I find myself watching them and commenting and liking and sharing because you rock.
Well, there's a couple things to that, right? So who started this was truly, I'll give it up to Alexis and Nick. And it had a lot to do with, first off, when we had the Manalapan office, myself and Kevin would be the ones that they were green into the industry. And in a sales environment, I still will always say this, you have to be in the office. You have to be able to feed off of each other. But if you want to learn, you got to learn by listening to what I'm saying, or what Kevin may be saying, and it's a different way that we sell or communicate to others. And then you take that and you put it into your own. And so having that office environment, I was always the one that was like, okay, we have an FHA loan, conventional loan. This is what we need. Here's the way we calculate income, whatever it may be. Or, hey, I have a scenario, I got to run it by you. They were, when I would be explaining it to them, they were like, bro, you have to do this and put the phone in front of you. And I'm like, bro, that's not my thing. And they're like, no, but it has to be you. You're the one that knows it.
It's become your thing.
Right. Correct. And I'll tell you, it's not easy. I'll tell anybody out there, if you're thinking about doing it, you gotta push through this because it's just so uncomfortable.
If you watch your first video,
Oh my God.
and now you watch your
Yeah.
first video, and now you watch your video now,
Yeah.
you can see that you have relaxed. You've realized the
Right.
benefit of doing this,
Yeah.
and you're just enjoying the ride.
When did you
Yeah.
do that? You went back and watched his first video?
I remember.
Oh, okay.
Do you know
I
what?
was curious.
Do you know what I
Dear
did?
friend.
Do you know what I used to do?
Not fell out of the second
No,
floor.
Hold
I
on.
would- no,
If
I
I
didn't
think
fall.
about it, I will know.
I
Go
would
ahead.
be this way, and I'd be like, "Hi." I would do this turn.
I love it.
I would do this turn, and I literally would just start speaking, and everyone's, especially my daughters, would definitely be abusing me on that.
Oh, they're good.
So
But even so, like, think about it. What makes me like stay on top of doing it every day, and I'm sure this is something that factors into
Your
your
toilet
mind as well.
helps.
No, forget the toilet. Just if I do a crappy video
Yeah.
and 65 people watch my video,
Yeah.
I just showed what I do for a living to 65 people.
Yep.
Right? So like every day when I post a video and I'm like, 365 people saw it, and I'm like, that stinks. But then I realized, if I was going to send a postcard to 365 houses,
Correct.
at the very bottom of the cost, it would be $365. And
Bottom of the cost.
365 people just saw that I'm a real estate agent and I am doing this for a living. So when you're getting 100,000, 700,000, and you just got 2 million, it's crazy. Unfortunately, it's probably not 2 million people in Staten Island. It's only 600,000.
Wait, but can I tell you something
But
so
still,
funny about that point? I'm sorry, I have to say it because I was cracking up with my friends the other day. So I had 2 million people. You know how many people followed me from that?
6.
Frank, come on.
37.
No, 30.
Okay, that's close.
But I thought it was so funny.
Well, that's the
2
new
million
algorithm, right?
people, and 30 people thought I was good enough to follow.
Oh, you got new followers.
Yeah.
Oh, from 30 new followers.
But I was like,
all right.
does it add up? I don't know.
Well,
It's not just
Don't-
all about
don't
the.
let it
it's
I
mean,
not
I
all
enjoyed
about
it,
the
though.
following.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I am learning that it's not just
It's a
all
new
about the
algorithm.
following. It is a new
Yeah.
algorithm,
Yeah.
and so I just think again, it's a matter of the more content that you do.
Yes.
It's not about trying to figure out how to make a video go viral and banking on that one video. It's just constantly putting
Constant
out
contact, 100%.
all the content that you possibly can, and it just becomes a numbers game.
Yeah, consistency. It's not a coincidence that consistency in your daily work leads to success, and consistency with social media, you do it every day.
100%.
Whether it's amazing or just mediocre, you're still going to see a big increase in who's seeing what you do. And we have plenty. We touched on this some episodes.
I know,
It
it's
gets
just-
edited out,
yeah,
but
I know.
I'm gonna say it again. If you don't want to edit it out, don't edit it out. But there are people who make the most horrendous videos I've ever seen in my life.
Frank needs to get this off his chest.
And
okay?
I was in Dallas, Texas, and
He's
a team
not
of
happy.
realtors from Missouri were like, "Do you know that guy?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." But crazy, right? It's just consistent. It's all the time.
Right.
Put what you want to say out there, and you're going.
This
to...
is giving hater vibes.
No, you're going to. I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more of a hater. It's okay. I'll stop. I got to be more.
At least you're self-aware.
I'm very self-aware. I'll tell you whatever you want. Definitely. Yeah, don't worry about it. But be consistent, and you're gonna see. You're gonna reap the benefits of that consistency.
And it doesn't happen overnight. Do you agree?
No, so this is the long play. It really is. Like this isn't like, hey, I did it for a week and I got leads coming in. And I will tell you, the one question that everyone asks me in the industry for the most part, or even just, that I know, they're like, yo, how many leads you get off of it? I'm like, it's not like that.
It doesn't work like that.
I said, so ultimately you have to build a platform. One, I'm a firm believer in not just promoting on Instagram. There's a method to the madness, right? Creating an ecosystem that has this at the center of it is your CRM. So that's a client retention, right? That you want to make sure that all the leads that you continuously get are going into that. But the circle around it is from Instagram to Facebook. It's from YouTube and then long form, short forms, right? It can be a webinar. It can, and then from that point, YouTube is connected to Google. So Google, then you have your SEO searches going up. There's a whole world out there for someone that is not just in our business.
It's a science.
It's a for any entrepreneur that's out there. If you want to look at and most of this stuff, it's not easy, but a lot of the things can be done on your own. But you have to be able to be consistent
That gets
with this
tricky
whole thing.
because it's super time consuming. But you find that point between you're like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm getting to the point of I can do this, and then if I don't get some help,
Right.
Well, you're gonna need help.
I need some help.
There are a small percentage of people who could really understand every aspect.
but it's not even about that. It's not about understanding. It's about your time. It is so time consuming to be
absolutely.
your own media manager, your own,
Right.
you're an actor now, you're a content creator, you're all the things on top of giving your clients the best attention that you possibly can.
Yeah.
So I feel like TikTok is as raw as you can possibly get, where you can just put a phone up and create a video and throw it out there. And you'll get the views and you'll get interaction depending upon what it is and what people relate to. So the funny part is like, yo, you got mad views. And I'm like, yeah, I got mad views. But it's about a McDonald's order. You know what I mean?
I
Or
definitely
it's
want
about
to
the
talk
Trader
about that.
Joe's
Yeah.
and what type of animal is in the Trader Joe's that the kids have to go
But
find.
it's making you seem human.
Well, no. So the
it's
one thing,
hyper-local. It's
the one
here,
thing
it's
that I
here.
did when I started doing this is like, all right, so how do I go about this? Because your mind starts to race, and you're like, it's very intimidating to be on camera, and you're like, all right, well, how do I act? And I'm like, bro, the only way I'm talking to myself, I'm like, the only way I know how to act is myself. So what you get here is exactly who I am off camera.
What you see is
And
what
so
you get.
exactly. And it could very well be the order of a McDonald's order that's just disgusting.
I don't think it was disgusting. I was feeling it, so I really liked it.
Can you eat that much food?
No.
I will sample that much food.
Yeah,
I'm willing to
Sample?
try.
Oh,
I'm
you're
willing.
a sampler.
No, I'm
I don't like that.
not a sampler. I
My
mean,
wife does it. Anything I eat, she's like,
No!
My least favorite food on earth is tuna. I'll buy a tuna steak, and she's like, okay, try that. She just has to eat it. Like, no matter what, that's a sampler.
no. But
So
if
you're-
I were to order all that food, and Joe, it was a lot of food.
No, it was a lot of food.
It was a lot
crazy.
of food. It was a lot of food. But I happen to love McDonald's.
Okay.
I like the burgers. I like the fries.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what
the
they sell there.
nuggets.
It's definitely not healthy for you.
Sure.
but-
Definitely sell burgers and fries.
But it was big. In that case, I would just try a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I would get full. I might finish it.
Yeah.
So- No, I'm sorry, but
Oh, yeah.
the whole reason that is what we're talking about is because Alexis goes, tell the world what you eat. Like nobody, it wasn't even part of, hey, what are we going to speak about? Like what's the agenda? Like nothing of that. And that came out.
Yeah.
The same way we go to Joe and Pat's and we're eating pizza and I'm like, yo, you know what's crazy? I was like, when you go to Trader Joe's, what an experience that I had was with my younger daughters, and we were looking for what I called a troll. I was told and rectified that it was a gnome, and so rightfully so. But that is going 700,000 views, but because it relates to the whole country and everybody, and so now that's getting pushed and pushed and pushed.
How many views did you have on that?
It's coming up to like 715, 730, something like that.
That's wild.
But then you look at my mortgage, and I'm like, hey, I'm Mr. Mortgage, and you can get 3% down, and I get 200 views.
That's what happens to me.
And I'm like, you can't figure it out.
No, you
But
can't.
I will continuously do it. And what has happened is people saying, yo, I see you on TikTok, or I've seen your videos. Or they're comfortable enough at a certain point that they trust me because they've been watching me for so long.
They feel like they know you.
And they will reach out. And it could be through a DM, it could be through a text or a call. But that's what happens, along with how many referrals have you guys given me? But then I'm like, hey, here's my application link, but also here's my Instagram page. Go check me out. I want you to see me. There's personal and business on there. Always looking to learn, where you can find some good stuff on there. And so that's another way of me being not just like, well, I was told to call you. I don't know why, or
Here I am. Here you are. Now what?
I'm a live person. Like you can see me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. It's like almost like an interview without having to do the interview. Like, here, look at me. Here's what I do on a daily basis. This is my personality. Here's some knowledge that I have, but also this is how I behave, like
Correct.
with the people around me, and it makes people feel more comfortable when they see that. You know.
I just think that you're dealing with one of their biggest financial transactions of their life. So there has to be some sort of trust because I easily learn this. Like I respect cops, captains, lieutenants, right? And, always felt like there was a superior to how they are to me. But when they're in my world, it's like they're looking for guidance. And I'm like, oh, the tables have flipped. I'm the professional. And I'm going to help them get there. But I need to also, I do that by educating everybody that I speak to.
Now, let me ask you. So social media is very positive in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's also negative in a lot of ways. What is one of, if you could talk about it, some type of response or comment you've gotten that just like threw you for a loop? Because I know I've got some really, even if it wasn't a comment, but then you followed up with a lead and you were like, what the heck just happened? No. You got anything you could talk about with
No,
that?
so I mean, listen, the fact that McDonald's order, like you get people being like, yo, you're going to die. Like, it's just like, no, I get that. I don't do this all the, I respond.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which
brother,
helps.
I had one guy who's got millions of followers. And then they tagged me on it, so I clicked on the video, and it was a video. It was a reel about my reel.
Oh my
gosh! And he's
gosh.
like, "What is this guy got a hollow leg?" And I'm like, "They're talking about me." I'm like, I can't believe that they made a reel about me. And so, things like that, where I'm like, "All right, guys, I get it." Like they're like, "Bro, that's disgusting." I'm like, I know that. Like duh.
Hello, I
get it.
I didn't think it was on my on my healthy list.
People
of
just
things.
need to like.
And
just need to just be.
Yeah.
And I realize
people.
that.
It's weird. It's very strange.
What are some things people have said to you?
To me?
Yeah.
I get some weird things. So I just got a person who watched one of my videos. We got, 50,000 views on it, which is decent for me. And I had 85 comments, right? So in the comments, somebody wrote, call me and DM me their number. So I did. And I hope they're not watching this, but
I hope you are.
They were like, I really can't get into what they said, but it was just so awkward that like I don't want to follow through with the lead, even though it sounded great. Yeah. But like I just can't get myself to.
I'll take your word for it. I want to know more.
You want me to lend it? Like, you want me to refer it to you?
Go ahead.
I don't think you want to. I just being honest with you.
Go ahead.
What do you mean? Go ahead. You want the lead?
Give me the lead.
Somebody's
We'll talk about. We'll follow up.
After we go off camera, I'll happily give you their number. Just give me like 10%. That's it.
For me, I've realized I'm like, all right, I'm putting myself out there. Like this is truly humbling to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm going to either ignore it or I'm going to have a little fun with it. But for the most part, I'm doing this for a reason.
Yeah, but it's not going to get me.
It's always about staying relevant. It's about trying to grow my business, scale my business, be part of, 2025 at the age of 49, like doing it where I find that a lot of the other younger crews, like I'm like, you got to do this. Like this is your world. Yeah. And they're not necessarily doing it.
It takes a lot of work. So like it's on top of already all your work. So I could see why someone is a little bit hesitant.
I agree.
Plus it's out of your comfort zone. So you're like,
Yeah, but like I agree with you that it's a lot of work, but like this is the direction that
this is your life.
Marketing is going. Like you don't really have a choice.
I know.
You're going to fade out and not be in the industry if you're not somehow getting yourself to be comfortable. And you don't have to be in front of camera. That's what I'm finding. I have a coach. I meet with my coach. He's great. And he points me in the direction of like, I have no problem being in front of the camera. I enjoy being in front of the camera now, but there are, certain real estate agents that do faceless videos, that they just do house tours, and they're getting lead after lead after lead. Correct. There are different ways that you can do this. I have a mastermind group that I meet with, and I'm the youngest person in the mastermind group.
Waiting for an invite, but that's okay.
She's waiting for an invite.
I just want to sit on it.
We'll try to see if we can find somebody to invite her. There's some people that are much older than me, and they're not very comfortable at all, and they have like no interest at all because like I can't be on there. But what you have to understand is like if I'm 73, when I make videos that fit 73-year-olds, whatever 73-year-olds that are out there that search TikTok and Instagram, that's who's going to see you. Yeah. You don't have to try to make content for a 22-year-old. You know,
that's a good point.
You make your content for what fits you.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's going to church on Sundays, right? And you do your breakfast in the morning in church and then show a house. And the people who do that every day are going to target that group. Yeah. And that is your clientele. That's who's going to want to use you, right? It's going to be very hard for a 23-year-old who's buying their first house to want to work with a 74-year-old that they have nothing in common anyway. Yeah. So I try to push that point across where you don't have to try to hit it all. Yeah, like I don't think that certain buyers are going to be interested in what I want to talk about or my personality but there is definitely a good base of people that do. Right. You're not going to be everything for everyone. Right. And that's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of it, 100%. It pushes it out to people who relate to what you like.
Yeah.
Well, I see you out there. You seem like you're doing fantastic. We work side by side often. You're an excellent family man. You're out there and you're killing it. Is there anything else that you would want to tell somebody that's thinking about maybe starting their journey, a piece of advice?
So I think anyone that's looking to go into home ownership or thinking about it, it starts with just, inquiring, right? So most of the time, they're not calling the bank. It'll always be you guys, right? You're always on a deal. You're the rainmaker. And it's the way it goes because people, whether they're going on the internet and they see a house and they look at the agent and they contact that agent, and that agent's smart enough to say, hey, go to Joe. But that's what it takes is for them to just start there. And then from there, I've seen so many people, and I've seen my own family where my parents took a shot. They didn't have a clue what they were doing. They were scared to death. Interest rates were around 16%, although the houses were at that moment were 100 and something thousand. But for them, with the income that was coming in, it still was a scary moment, And I will tell you, I feel like people have built wealth with real estate, and it's a form of shelter, so you always need it in some way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of having some sort of vehicle that will allow you to take money out tax-free, build equity. Those are vehicles where there's plenty of other investment vehicles, but not the ones that do passive income. And you have those three things coming out of a house. I think that's something that someone should strive for that can change the generations that they've come from. And I just think that comes with reaching out to somebody and just educating yourself on how this can happen. And people have come to me and be like, bro, I wish I knew this. And I'm like, people are like, no, the worst is when they say, I'm going to wait. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah, but why? What are you waiting? We're going to be in the same position in a couple months from now. So
what their thought is on what is hindering them could be something that's so minute to the application that it can happen now. And so what's the saying? Like, the best day, is always, you start now.
There's no time like the present.
Right. Exactly. No, it's funny. I had that exact thing happen last night. I got a text message, and I don't really care. I'm going to say it. She was like, I need you to find me a place in New Jersey because when Mamdani wins mayor, I'm out.
Okay.
Right? So I said, well, call me. Because this was going to be...
She texted you.
She texted me, and I said, call me. And she's like, question mark. I was like, call me. So I had to explain. Well, waiting until something like that happens is a horrendous idea because there are a lot of people that are thinking exactly like you.
Yeah.
And when that happens, all of you are going to be trying to do the same exact thing, and it's going to be nearly impossible. Yeah. And she was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I should think about that. I was like, why not? If you have that thought process, that's fine. Right. And maybe you're spot on, but let's not wait until the other 200,000 people who think like that want to exit
Correct.
Where we live to another place and probably the same place. Yeah. Let's get ahead of it. Let's start really thinking about it now so you're just ahead of everybody else because waiting, she's like, oh, I understand what you're saying. You're 100% right. Like, I was like, who's going to want to buy your house? Yeah. Right? You want to sell your house to move out. Everyone's going to be trying to buy in that other state. But who's going to buy your house now? Because everyone's trying to leave. And she was like, I didn't even think about that. I was like, you got to play on the fact that not every single person thinks like that, and then people are still buying on Staten Island, right? And if something like that happens and it's really as bad as it seems it may be to some people, you kind of, it's not a good time at that point. Now is the best time.
So Catherine brought up before about she sees a lot more buyers coming into the market. And I believe that has everything to do with that the rates continuously are coming down. And that was my whole point. And they brought up, within our industry of, marrying the house but date the rate, and ultimately how I explain it is there's going to be so many other buyers coming into this when they finally jump off and be like, I heard 5.875. That's my number.
Yeah.
And it just makes it that much harder for you to find a home. We're not in this market, in the Staten Island. We're not waiving appraisals. We're not waiving inspections. We're not there yet. Jersey, different story.
Yeah. Well,
but that's not a healthy
No,
market
absolutely
to be in.
not.
It's not a fun place to be
Nope.
in. We've had that happen, and especially mostly in the Jersey area. But when you have a lot more buyers and the low inventory, it's still a seller's market.
Inventory is low to begin with.
Correct.
So once you throw that into the mix and that whole buyer pool spills in, the numbers are going to be astronomical.
Yeah, and I keep pushing 6% as like the golden number, like the bullseye number. That once the mainstream media starts pushing that 6% is your base, like your prime rate, like over and over, like that's when I think, for lack of a better term, like all shit's gonna hit the fan. Like every buyer is gonna come out of the woodworks. And I know we got really close this past week, but I feel like we really didn't get to the point where the
I feel like everybody's
media,
on the edge of their seats.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
we didn't get to the point where they turned the table where they're pushing, our rates are lower now, right? And it's gonna happen soon. I had somebody say to me yesterday, well, what do you mean when the rates go down, it's gonna be tough for me? I said, do you realize that our prices are sky high already?
Yeah.
And we have low inventory, and maybe the lower rates is gonna, convince some people to put the house in the market, because now they can go, buy something with a little higher rate than what they have, but it's more manageable. It's not going to offset how many people are waiting on the side to buy. Yeah. And it's hard to explain to a buyer that, though someone who's going to be buying, that when the rates come down, it's going to be more impossible for you than it is now. And they're like, what do you mean? Yeah. It's like, just think, we have an asset, a home standing here, and right now 12 people want it.
I would give you another analogy, but last time I did, I was crucified.
Oh, let's hear it. I want to crucify you again. I don't think I did it.
It was an egg.
The egg? That was it?
No,
Let's
like
hear the analogy. Come on.
it was like when no, I'm not gonna do it to myself.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do it.
Clearly not a good analogy.
I'm not gonna do it. It was a good analogy.
So then do it.
Like when Tickle Me Elmo was.
Oh, wow. Yes. When yes, they didn't produce
Am
enough
I
for how many
wrong?
people wanted it.
That thing was so high priced.
Okay. Not. This is a bad analogy, Katherine, because it was not priced high in the store. It
was high.
No, it was priced the same.
And then it was higher.
In the secondary market, but not in the store. You just couldn't get it because so many people wanted it. That's more.
But
the
jack
analogy.
the price up because
Yeah, in the secondary market.
supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Right. That's good. Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Absolutely.
We had a blast chatting with you.
I appreciate you allowing me on.
We had a blast chatting with you. You're a dear friend of ours.
Thanks.
What?
I'm waiting for you to let them know.
Let him know what?
About
You
the
have
closing table.
I'll get there.
All right.
It's very bossy.
Okay.
So we do a segment called The Closing Table. While you're at the closing table, we get to know you a little bit better, and we do some rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
So you seem like the type of guy, well, you are the type of guy I know that's just going to rock this out, and it's going to be really, really good. So I hope you have some good rapid-fire questions up your sleeve over there.
Oh, you asking me to do them?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So.
Well prepared.
Yeah, I don't do the prepared thing.
It's all good.
This just come. These come like this. So, here's what we're gonna do. All right. Last meal. If it's the last meal on Earth, this is very generic, but last meal on Earth, what is Joe Campagna ordering?
I feel like I could guess it.
Go ahead. I want you to guess it real quick.
Okay. I think you're going to have a steak.
No, it's a McDonald's burger. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Go ahead.
I feel like you're going to have a steak or like a veal parm.
Yeah.
and you're gonna rock out with that. Like I feel like that's your
No,
thing.
you were dead on with the steak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We all
Yeah.
we all love steak.
Yeah, I
All
just.
right, so steak.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Any sides?
I love mashed potatoes.
The instant or homemade because
No, I think homemade.
yeah, I think homemade too. But some people rock out with instant.
I mean, I've done that just to put
Have
a hot
them
meal
on the
together.
go.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm like, okay, this
This is
serves
what
its
have
purpose.
exactly.
But last meal, I think I want a little bit more of a
Yeah.
a chef preparing.
So, what do you find that you do every day that's a little quirky, but like you want to stop, but you realize you just do it every day?
That I want to stop.
Yeah, like you do it, but like you like don't realize you do
I
it.
would
but-
love to hear yours, Frank.
Yeah.
What was quirky? I carry around a water bottle, but it's a gallon water
Do you
bottle.
drink it?
I
Is
do
that
drink
the
it,
quirky
obviously,
part?
Okay.
but I don't want to stop. I mean, it's just
it's something you like.
it's something that I think out of the many diets, it's stuck.
Okay.
I'm like, I at least got to do that.
Hydration is so important.
It is, but and I look like that typical do that is carrying around a gallon.
How many
of
times
water.
do you refill it?
No,
gallon.
1 gallon. So
gonna
that's
drown.
You go to the store and you're like, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, not at the store, but I'll walk around with it in the gym in the gym or even
No,
the
I
office.
think you get the gallon.
So
from
Brandon
the store.
goes, bro, you're the fattest person that walks around with a gallon of water.
It's all water weight.
Yeah.
Most amount of weight you ever benched in the gym?
I think I've maxed out at I think 325.
Same.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Solid number.
Yeah. At one point I did 315 multiple times, but I get nervous. Like
I hear you.
yeah, I'm not trying to be on that video where something pops,
Yeah, no, I
but
hear you. That's a good number.
listen, 315 it's a heavy weight and I was doing it years ago, but not anymore.
Do you squat?
I hate it. So I'll do the leg press. Yes.
I like
I'll do the leg press, but I do not like squatting because most of the time I don't go to a gym with a partner.
Yeah, I like the leg press versus squat too.
So
All right, whatever.
You got any?
Do you have an opinion?
Do I have an opinion about squatting? Yeah. I was pretty good at it. I don't like it, but I was good
What
at
was your favorite childhood cartoon?
superheroes.
it. Is that a
Just-
cartoon or just is that just a general?
Superheroes, guys. It was
I never.
yo. Hold on. Don't you dare. Don't.
Like in general, you're like Batman and
Superhero.
Superman.
Superheroes. That's very general. Does it include like all of them or like Spider-Man, Superman,
Yes.
Wonder Woman? Like they're all a group, or
Saturday
like it's very
cartoon.
generic.
Hold
answer.
on a minute.
I feel like I need to know.
Superheroes
Could this
Saturday.
be one of
cartoon.
those things that really didn't exist, but you thought it did?
No, it was Justice League.
Ah, see?
okay.
It didn't. All right.
Totally different.
Now we get it.
Superheroes.
I knew it. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard of
It was
Justice
Justice-
League.
it was a
I was
Justice
saying, is it
League.
possible that doesn't exist?
Yeah,
Yes.
On Saturday. That G.I. Joe was a huge one.
Oh, G.I. Joe.
G.I.
Are
Joe
you gonna
was
say
big.
Gumby?
Gummy, isn't it Gummy Bears?
the-
Gummy Bears dancing here and everywhere. We are the Gummy Bears.
Wait, I don't think it's the Gummy Bears.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Care Bears?
The Care Bears.
Care Bears.
No,
Oh, what is Gummy Bears?
I was in the middle of the 80s.
That didn't
Oh no! You don't know
Gummy
that logo?
Bears.
exist to me. No.
There you go. Who was it with the ducks?
The Mighty Duck.
No, not Mighty Ducks. It was Scrooge McDuck, but it was the kids.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't.
I'm showing my age, guys.
Yeah.
Ducks. All right, I'm out on ducks.
Scrooge McDuck. It was
Oh,
Chippendales?
no, Chippendales was good too.
Yeah.
No,
wasn't
Mickey
Donald Duck.
Mouse.
No.
No, he wouldn't forget that name.
He might.
DuckTales.
DuckTales. I watched that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, like, did I say the Mighty Ducks?
You did say Mighty Ducks, but there's no relation.
Right.
Oh.
Correct.
Yeah. I have one more question. Did you ever see the movie Fantasia?
If I did, guys, so you have to understand, like I grew up in a very like strict religious household. I'm almost positive my mom said that it was satanic, and I couldn't watch it.
That's perfect. It's leading you right into what I was going to say. I had nightmares from the time I was like 3 until I was like 6 because of the brooms that grew arms and were throwing water out.
There you go.
So I will never
Yes,
forget
correct.
this. I'll never.
That makes sense. I wish my grandparents were very, very religious too, but they just knew it would keep me quiet. So
Right.
I didn't care. But I'd be remiss without saying, listen, thank you so much, Joe. This was so much fun.
So much
if
fun.
If you need a mortgage, you want to buy a house, call Joe, Senior Vice President of Federal Savings Bank. And if you want to buy or sell a house, call Katherine and I. You know, we do that. We never mention it, but we're mentioning it today.
We don't
so
mention
thank
it.
you so much. This
Awesome,
was awesome.
Joe. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man. I appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right.
guys.
Let's go get McDonald's.